Well, hey, welcome to Boys and Brunch. This is the show where we expose everything going down on the timeline. And today we've got several great topics yet again. I hope you're ready. So today we're talking about Nene's The Read Sessions, Meg the Stallion beating Lil Baby for Artist of the Year at the BET Hip Hop Awards, Kim Kardashian's Island Getaway, and Daddy Graham, as I like to call it, and the best Halloween costumes of 2020. So I'm Jarrod D. King. I am joined by co-host Brandon Harris Williams and Marcus Haynes. And we are also joined by a special guest who is a yoga instructor, the host of the Healing Space podcast, and someone who knows all about great diction, Ariana Grande. So Sensei Raven Akundayo.
Hey, everybody.
So, Sensei, how are you today, sir?
I am awesome-tastic. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me on here, by the way.
I'm happy to have you on. I was really excited to have you on because I love the Healing Space podcast. So I'm excited. I have a question to ask you. So how does one become a sensei?
It happened for me in two different ways. I was ordained originally, and I was ordained.
I think we cut
11. I'm a Buddhist minister, but sensei. Oh, you said I cut out?
Just a brief moment there.
Oh, you were ordained, and then we didn't hear 11, and then
I was saying I was ordained in 2011. I was ordained. I'm a Buddhist sensei, and as well as when I became certified as a Reiki practitioner. So okay. I was also became ordained as a sensei then as well.
Awesome.
You have a voice like you've been ordained in something.
It's so funny that you would say that, Marcus, because I was told, and I think that I told BHW this before, I was told by pastors growing up that I would end up being behind a pulpit. And I was always offended by that because I left Christianity around 11 years old. I was going to church by myself before my family was going. And I was like, I'm good. I want to start studying all the other kinds of religions. So I would get offended and I'd be like, but no, don't tell me that I'm going to be in a Christian church. And these ministers would say to me, they're like, we never said anything about Christianity. We just said you were going to be behind a pulpit. You are going to have a word for the people. And so when I ended up becoming ordained, I was like, oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. This just became a whole nother Sunday show.
I know. We just caught the spirit on that one.
As I drink.
I want to say hello to Mama Shay on YouTube. I see you, girl. I see you, Angie. Kiss My Cheeks TV. She's joining us today on YouTube. We have some people in Periscope. Hopefully they're saying something. If I don't see your chats in Periscope, please just jump over to YouTube. But yeah, welcome. So how should I address you today? Should I address you as Sensei or should I address you as Raven? Or
I've never had anybody ask me that. I'm always honored when people say Sensei because I struggled with titles, when I first became ordained. I struggled with it. I learned to kind of live in that, and I'm honored by all of my students and friends who refer to me as Sensei. But that's a long ass way of saying you can, by all means, say Raven if you'd like.
All right, sounds good. What are you drinking today? That's our last intro question there.
I am drinking water. I only drink out of a glass now. I've been doing that for the majority of this year. I don't do plastic anymore.
Okay.
And this is Italian water. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And why is that? Is that like a environmental thing?
I'm a super environmentally conscious person. Like I tell people all the time, I'm the kind of person who talks to trees, literally. Like I'm very, very much into those kind of things. I'm against killing bugs, but where I live here in Georgia, I have wasps in my house and I have cockroaches.
Let's say that. Wait now.
Listen, living in Georgia, see, where I'm from the north, and up north, if you have cockroaches in your house, I mean, you're dirty. So it's like I moved down here and they're like, oh, no. They're just in the woods. That's it. I'm like,
okay. Tell me something because I'm still up in north.
Okay, it's also a different type of cockroach. Just how many you have. Because you can still be dirty in the South. Let's be clear.
Yes. It's usually like if you got like the small ones, then you nasty. Like water bugs, they'll be wherever.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
All right.
flying
Very
hoes.
true.
Oh my God.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Marcus,
Mhm.
I saw you. What are you drinking today? I saw you take a sip of something.
So this is an old favorite, Jack and Coke.
Come
I'm
on.
Okay.
tapping into my Southern roots today. I'm
Yes.
drinking out of a mason jar.
Yes.
I'll be making some fried chicken, cornbread, and collard greens later on.
Oh my gosh, I need to
Oh,
come to your house.
okay. What time did you say dinner is?
I'm on the next flight.
Oh, man.
I'll be there before Jarrod. I stay close.
So what's new with you? What's been going on with you, Marcus?
um, just barreling towards the end of the semester. Like, been trying to finish up this semester, figure out how I'm gonna change stuff for next semester, and yeah, just
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right. All good. Brandon, what's new with you and what's in the glass?
This is it was like a pre-made. You know how they have the pre-made things at the liquor store. It's
Mm-hmm.
Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Try
Come
something a little
on,
different,
Cosmo.
but we love red. And what is new with me? I don't know. It's a new month. I have like some new energy from
Okay.
nowhere. I'm trying to go
Okay.
into
It's the
2021.
best month of the year. So yeah.
I love Thanksgiving. Yes. And
Yes, that part.
Awesome.
no, your
Cool.
birthday's coming up as well. But no,
Oh, is that what
it's
that
just
was?
yes. But no, just it's chaotic. I know this week coming up will be who knows what. But trying to be as positive as possible going into a new month. It's the first. We're going into a new year shortly. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can keep that positivity in a couple days because as I see with your shirt, it could all go downhill very quickly. And I'm hoping that we can keep that. So as far as me, I had a little trip yesterday. I went with my good friend. She's actually watching Mama Shay / @love_eternal, as you heard me say a billion times on this show already. We went apple picking yesterday. It was a great way to kind of do our little fall thing. We love all these little things. We had a picnic a few months ago. Like, we love all that little
I love
crazy
it.
stuff. So I got kind of inspired from that for our drink. I went and bought apple cider. So I looked online and I found an apple cider margarita.
Come
So
on.
I decided to try that out. I haven't taken a sip yet, so I'm gonna see if I even like it.
That looks really good.
Right?
Does look good.
It's not bad. It's
Is
not
it
bad.
sweet
It's
or is it
drinkable.
like ooh?
Drinkable.
Is it sweet or is it
drinkable.
like kind of sourish?
It's I guess it's more on the sweet side. I just don't. I mean, it tastes like apple cider to me. I guess it's not enough tequila in it for me to taste much of a difference. Maybe it'll hit me later on in the show. I don't know. We'll see. But to our viewers, if at any point you hear something you like, please heart it up, give us a like. I will be watching the comments and doing my best to interact with you and shout you out. But we have to jump into our first topic now. And that would be the read session. Exactly. Now, this week, Nene Leakes, OG of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, debuted a new show called The Read Sessions by her production company named Leaking Productions. It's basically a show like ours where a group of co-hosts talk about pop culture and read somebody down when they do wrong. Sounds good in theory, but when Nene left a mega brand like the Housewives to do her own thing, this isn't what people had in mind. So before we talk about this, I need to play the video for our audience just to catch everybody up. It's only a quick few seconds.
Oh shit! Can I refill my drink?
Listen.
And I was trying not to do the share screen thing too much, but this one, you kind of have to see it in order to
Get the
get
full effect.
You have to see it to believe it.
Here we go. Let me know if y'all can hear it on the chat.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it? Okay. Boo. And see, I was trying to test. Let me see if I can get sound or something on here. I don't see anything real quick. So we are just going to skip the viewing portion of this, and we are going to move on. We're just going to move
They're
on.
not missing much.
You're not missing much. Basically, they were all they were introducing themselves. Nene had a panel of, I guess, a bunch of gay men. They were all talking about the topics and stuff. They were introducing themselves, and it was very funny. So if you need to see that video, please check it out. You'll just type in Nene the read sessions or something. You'll find it real quick. But Brandon, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? I want to start with you because I know. You're like the Housewives guy, so I know.
Okay, we'll go with that. That looks bad. It looks cheap. It looks thrown together, very put together, and it sucks because she is a household name, for better or for worse. I think it sucks because at one point in time, her star was definitely pretty bright, but she's definitely in her own way. And I think it sucks because this is really her downfall, and she's fighting it very hard, but she's making it worse. her, and I think she could rebound, but I don't know if she needs to take a break from the public eye. I don't know if she needs to she needs to do some more internal work as well, but I don't know if she needs to. I think she needs a new team. I feel like her team, or probably her personality, is very much so like, this is what I want to do. This is what we're going to do, versus this would be a good look for you, kind of thing.
Okay. Anybody else? How are you feeling?
I thought it was an SNL skit when you sent it to me. Because I wasn't aware of it until you sent it to me, and then I looked at it and I was like, "Oh, this is a joke." And I was like, "Oh, it's not." And then I was like, you sent it to me. You sent it to me on Halloween, so I was like, "Okay, so this is her interpretation of somebody she dressed up as. They're doing a whole skit." And as I continue to watch it, all I'm thinking to myself is like, this can't be serious. Like, I'm just waiting for them at the end to be like, "Psych." And it never ended up. It's sad. It's very sad. This is speaking from somebody on the outside of the Housewives world. But I do know who Nene is,
Mm-hmm.
And to say a fall from grace is an understatement. This looks, when you think of some of those really bad web series you've seen, this is underneath those.
Oh man.
Wow. This is pretty bad. Yeah.
Marcus, do you agree? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I really do, and it's especially bad because you have somebody who is of Nene's level of star power. Like there's no way you should be on this couch in this building that's being renovated as you're recording, with a random assortment of Atlanta gays just talking, just like, what are you doing? Like it sounds bad for me to say this, but I kind of have to say it, that you're better than this. What are you doing? And so it is sad to see.
I'm sorry.
He is tickled. He is tickled.
It's the random assortment for me.
For me, it was the renovation.
It was a lot. It was a lot, and it wasn't. I agree, it wasn't a good look. But I'm also of the mind that sometimes you just need to do something. Sometimes you just need to put something out. Sometimes, just to get the ball rolling, just to get things started. And I guess I'm coming from the perspective of a content creator, of somebody who just kind of put something together. Like, you can see, I'm in a small room with like toys in the background,
Yeah, for real. I got my hand up too.
Okay, but I'll let them go because I was going to definitely just cut.
Marcus,
for me, the difference is that you also don't have any money. You also don't have any connections. So I don't think that you can necessarily compare that, because she's on a different level. And that's not even to say, that us putting this together was just like, just something random, because clearly, work and stuff went into it. But I could be more accepting of somebody, just regular kind of sort, more or less off the street, doing something like this, than somebody who's been on this, national, global television show and all these TV shows and movies
for 11 years.
No, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for you to put out something so poor quality.
Okay.
I think that was very sweet what you just attempted to do. I thought that was very, very
I'm
sweet.
leaving. I'm leaving.
But one, you're not giving yourself enough credit, because I've seen even the promotion that you've done for this, and it shows the amount of work that you've put into this show. That's one. Two,
Thank
like
you.
BHW said, it's been 11 years, and like Marcus said, first of all, she has money. That's one. Two, she has connections. So in my mind, I'm thinking, how many bridges have you burned? You should be able to hit up Ryan Murphy and say, can you just get one of your people to come over here and help with cameras or something?
Yeah.
So in my mind,
And
I'm
she
like,
did burn that bridge.
see,
She did?
and that's my
She ain't been
thing.
on Horror Story or nothing.
Listen,
With her no acting behind.
listen. So it's like, I'm very much like you in the sense that it's not about coming down on people, but I also believe very strongly in karma, So I'm looking at her and I'm like, who knows all the things that you're bringing back around to you again? I know that if you could, you wouldn't have this poor quality ass show as your introduction of what you're doing by yourself. So there has to be a whole lot more going into it. And this is her having to eat humble pie. That's what I think it is.
Okay, I hear you. Wow. Okay, you just preached it. You just preached it all the way.
No, because
I think the other thing is, oh no, you want to go?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I think this thing would not even be a big topic if she wasn't like involved. I think it was just those four guys. We'd be like, okay, it's four guys doing something. They're starting whatever.
Yes.
But it's like you guys are saying, this is Nene involved with her money, with her connections, or what we assume to be connections, or whatever else. And it's like, oh, it's this. After you got fired from Housewives of Atlanta, this is the first thing you're doing.
Yeah. I'm reading some of the comments here, and excuse me on YouTube because I don't know how to put the chats up on the screen. So I'm not that advanced just yet. So I'm just reading what I'm seeing here. Angie is saying that it was sad for Nene. The production was a read on Nene. Mama Shay is saying they could have just gathered in Applebee's.
Honestly, truly, at that point.
I honestly don't think though, I think it's her restaurant that they're in. So I do think though it is, like you said, under renovations or construction to open.
Right.
I think it's where they're at.
Right. Okay, so is there an issue with her using all gay men as part of the show? Because I heard that as one of the criticisms.
Very on brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's dig deeper to that. Because that sounds a little bit like shade. I don't know.
I mean, I would be surprised if it was for other women.
Okay.
So, I mean, interpret as you would. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
it felt very forced. It felt very forced, and that's in any time that I've seen, in the instances where I have seen episodes of The Housewives, all of the quote unquote lingo has always felt very forced to me. It's never felt genuine, So as I'm watching her with these, it was four brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I'm watching her with them, all of it just, even what they were saying, everything that was being said on camera just felt very scripted and forced. And I'm watching her, and in my mind, I'm just thinking to myself, it's as if the same day you left Housewives, you just called up four people real quick and said, meet me at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, okay, so here's how we're going to talk. Here's what we're going to say. And I think the biggest issue with her is that she's the complete opposite of authentic. And that's the issue. The issue is that it would have been better if it was just you talking from the heart. But that goes back to what BHW said in his very first comments, is that it digs a lot deeper than this. I would love to have her on the healing space because it's a mental health podcast. And I feel like she needs a mental health conversation.
Woo! But are you ready for that?
I think he is. But I also think you have to be ready though for the healing. So she could come and you will be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, my 9 to 5 is working with 18 to 24-year-olds battling mental health issues. I think I can handle Nene.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I will say that her explanation for that was that that gay men are her fan base, basically. And so that's why she kind of brought
a large part of it. Okay.
Yeah, she brought them in there. It wasn't, I don't know. So I mean, I get that. I didn't necessarily have a problem with her using gay men as a part of the show. I do know that a lot of the lingo, I do agree with that point, that a lot of the lingo and stuff that they've used was definitely from LGBTQ culture. So you kind of have to share some of the limelight with us if you're going to be speaking like that. You know what I'm saying? It definitely doesn't happen on TikTok. That's a whole different issue.
Right. I must say, I got one more thing just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that this also kind of answers, they have that constant question, Nene versus New York. I believe this has now answered that question as far as to who wins between the two.
BHW's face.
That is
Do you
all.
agree with that, Brandon?
I think, yeah, I think that I think kind of goes back to like what Ray was just saying. I do think Tiffany, New York, whatever, as of late, I think we talked about it, what was that, last week or 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely is a lot more authentic. I think she puts on a bit when the cameras are on, but she puts on like just enough to keep you like engaged and entertained. I don't think she puts on to be somebody who she's completely not.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So I guess that's that for that. Not much else to say there. I mean, I will say she tried to explain it in a story post after it kind of blew up, saying that this was just a
mess.
This was just an idea, just to put it out there and see what the reaction would be. Do you guys believe that at all? Or do you think that she's trying to?
Yeah, if it would have been received wonderfully, we would have never seen that story.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I do believe it was just an idea and not thought out well. I do. But I do also believe though this is something she was going to go full steam ahead with.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see her win. Again, what that looks like, I'm not certain, but I do want to see her win.
Okay.
I also kind of feel bad for the men that were involved, because now she's definitely going to go back and completely rebrand, completely change this idea around, and those poor guys were probably thinking they were going to get their big break.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry if they
the one guy who was like, "Put the light in the room," I think he
just know I'm the brightest in the room.
Yeah.
Little light of mine,
my favorite
okay?
part. That was hilarious. All right, so let's move into our next topic.
Okay.
We've got Meg Thee Stallion versus Lil Baby at the BET Hip Hop Awards. And Marcus, I had actually asked you last night if you could help me with this, because I was so tired after apple picking and everything yesterday that I needed some help on one of these topics. So can you break down what this topic is and what people are saying about it?
Okay. So basically, the BET Hip Hop Awards, was filmed Tuesday. So they went through, gave out all the awards, and when it came time for Artist of the Year, they gave the award to Megan Thee Stallion. People were upset that they felt Lil Baby was snubbed. They were citing, that he had a major year. He released that song, The Bigger Picture, which is, dealing with the current Black Lives Matter movement and things of that sort. They were saying, his two of his albums went platinum. One of them went double platinum. He had all these gold and platinum singles. He had, there was an article that came out about him tying, with having so many songs on the Hot 100 charts. They were saying, there's no way that he should not have gotten this award. That, people even went so far as to say that Meg only got this award because she was shy. Kind of like it was a sympathy type of thing. But, the conversation is just really, did Lil Baby get snubbed, and was Megan deserving of the award of having Artist of the Year?
Okay, so what do you think, Marcus? Because I know you're a Meg Thee Stallion fan. I was gonna say Stan, but I don't know if you're quite that level.
Too strong, but
what do you think? Do you think she was deserving?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think that kind of goes back to how I think about award shows. Like, especially when you have something like Artist of the Year, when you talk about the artist, that's more than just like, oh, you have good sales or whatever have you. That's also like impact. That's like performances. And like, we would be lying if we said that WAP and Savage didn't blow up. Like, Lil Baby got a couple of songs that are cute. I like them or what have you. But
I honestly, I don't know Lil Baby. I think when you brought the topic up in our DMs, I was just like, is this the same as DaBaby? And then you were like,
Two
no.
different babies.
And then I was like, okay, so we got Baby, Da Baby, Lil Baby. And I'm like, why we got all these baby rappers? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do you all have the same name?
So I'm gonna be honest. Literally, until you just said that you didn't know Lil Baby, the entire time in my head, God's honest truth, I was hearing Da Baby. My whole argument was going to be Da Baby and Meg the Stallion. I give you my word. And when you said that, I was like, oh shit. Like, wow. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and say I don't know Lil Baby other than one of my coworkers who loves him at my job. That's it.
Okay.
So Meg completely. Yeah.
Yeah. So hello, Connected. We see you in the chat. But yeah, it was just different. I mean, so I mean, and I don't know if that validates Meg the Stallion or that invalidates the people who are arguing pro Lil Baby, because I'm not really I'm not that knowledgeable about the whole hip hop scene. I know a few people, I know a few songs, and I jam to it, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this, Brandon?
No, I think the confusion about names has been there since he's been around. I can't remember if he was first or the baby was first or whatever, but since they both came out, there's always been confusion, which is which, who sings what, whatever. I think there's that thing. I think also there might be a bit of sympathy appeal, but you also, to Megan, but you can't ignore, like you said, though, that Savage and WAP were huge songs this year. I think you can't. I mean, everybody knows who Meg is. Like, there's no question. Like, you can't confuse her with somebody else. Like, you can't say maybe she's so and so or whatever else. Like, Meg. We can't say the same about him.
Yeah,
which I think is what it is. I think, like you said too, sales matter, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. My thing is that Meg. I'm sorry. Meg has been in the public eye the entire year. So I'm personally caught off guard by the whole sympathy because she was shot, She's been in the public eye all of 2020. Mm-hmm. So, and this is not taking away from any of Lil Baby's fans. Like, this isn't taking away from any of his fans, You are valid in your appreciation and your love for him as an artist. Mm-hmm. However, especially for those of us who are not familiar with who he is, like me, it's not to say that I'm a Meg fan or stan, but I know who she is. I'm very familiar with her music. And even when we weren't talking about her singles, you were still talking about Meg. So I just think if you're talking about the country and the industry as a whole, why wouldn't you think that she was worthy of winning over him? This has nothing to do with your love of the artist. You have to be able to see the industry overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's so funny because I'm looking at our chats. Apparently nobody knew who Lil Baby was. We were all confused. I'm glad, Marcus, you were able to shine a light on this issue and put Lil Baby out there front and center.
I know Bigger Picture, but what else does
Bigger Picture? Whoa.
How'd that one go? Child. I'm about to look him up. I meant to look him up.
You put me on the spot. I like the song, but you put me on the spot. I can't think of it now.
I know he was by him, but I can't think of what's his.
There's another one. That I hear. Mostly, I hear his music on the radio. But I feel like that's the thing, though. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not as in your face, and as Meg is. Like, Meg is literally everywhere. She had a whole TikTok challenge. WAP is being talked about by politicians, bro. Like, come on. It's just it is what it is, and like Sensei was saying, like, it's just that there's nothing wrong with with Lil Baby. Like, I'm sure he's a great person, I'm sure he's a great artist, he makes fantastic music. But when you're talking about popularity, and that's what these award shows are really, really rewarding, there's no competition.
Right. I'm seeing Angie Kiss My Cheeks TV is saying Meg took over 2020 and quarantine with that Savage challenge on TikTok, and I completely agree. There's really no comparison in my mind to the star quality that Meg the Stallion has at this point. Mm-hmm. So, but speaking of Meg the Stallion, now we have to look at the other side of the coin because she created this Halloween party. I don't know if y'all saw the flyer, but she had a Halloween party last night in Atlanta. And what, like, I see some disappointed faces. What are the words behind those faces? I want to hear some.
Oh, I think they were
thoughts.
disappointed. So I guess
No. I know nothing about it. So if you all
Oh
could
no.
explain it to me, I'm not aware.
Okay.
I wasn't
Yeah.
aware.
I mean, there was this flyer of it was Hollow. I don't know. I don't know
Hottie
what the
Ween,
name.
I think that's what it's
Hottie
called.
Ween. Okay, Hottie Ween, and it had on the flyer had the biohazard symbol, so it was almost like an FU to coronavirus, but coronavirus isn't a
I mean, but
person; it's a virus, so you can't really
but
say
she's been
that.
partying all. She's been
She
partying
has.
all quarantine. So are we
She
surprised
has.
she threw a Halloween party?
I didn't know that, but
I
I
didn't
have
know
not seen a
either.
mask on her other than the promo for SNL. It's the only time I've seen her wear a mask
Well,
since March.
but
We're in
I think,
November.
I think people are upset because it's one of those things where it's like you're coming somewhere else, like you're coming here to Atlanta, and you're throwing this party, bringing all these people, all these foreign folk, and your foreign self coming in here, creating this, super like nest of coronavirus, and you going back to Texas, but you leaving
And
all
everywhere
the
else, y'all
corona.
people are going.
Right, but you leaving all this shit right here for us to pick up, and now we finna be killing over because you decided that you want to have Hottie Wing. I feel like that's what people are upset about,
yeah.
because people they doing that. Not they, but like people in general have been doing that. Like been having these events, having these concerts, these what they call them super spreader events, and you just leaving that there for the people who live there. And now I got to worry about catching coronavirus and I go to the grocery store.
Right. Exactly. We have Connected on YouTube saying
It's all Kim's
ATL
fault.
has become the go-to city for
Yes.
parties during the Rona as they act as if the virus is not the real situation. So yeah, we're all there. Unfortunately, that's what's happening. But while we're talking about the coronavirus, I guess we can go into our next topic, which is Kim Kardashian's island getaway. Because she had, well, I'll read what I have here, and you can get the whole story there. So how about we just do that?
Let's go.
In a series of tweets, Kim Kardashian expressed how humbling her 40th birthday experience was on a private island with pics. Humbling private island. I just wanted to throw that out there, but okay. So in a series of tweets, she says, quote, 40 and feeling so humbled and blessed. There is not a single day that I take for granted, especially during these times when we are all reminded of the things that truly matter. For my birthday this year, I couldn't think of a better way to spend it than with some people who have helped shape me into the woman I am today. Excuse me. Before COVID, I don't think any of us truly appreciated what a simple luxury it was to be able to travel and be together with family and friends in a safe environment. After 2 weeks of multiple health screenings and asking everyone to quarantine, I surprised my closest inner circle with a trip to a private island where we could pretend things were normal just for a brief moment in time. We danced, rode bikes, swam near whales, kayaked, watched a movie on the beach, and so much more. I realized that for most people, this is something that is so far out of reach right now. So in moments like these, I am humbly reminded of how privileged my life is. Hashtag this is 40. Um, so this led to memes galore and a ton of dragging online. Raven, I want to jump to you. So what are your thoughts on this story after I give you all that? what are you thinking?
To be honest with you, I was in, and I don't know, maybe she felt the need for the ending, but I was completely there for it until the ending. The ending was where it threw me off. I didn't need that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with you, as being someone who's 40. I loved what I did for my birthday. I'm happy it took place before quarantine happened. So I'm happy that I was able to travel and go to all these different cities and be able to. So I'm not mad at her for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad that she went to this private island. You got the money, go with your family, people who are okay. You all have been tested. But that ending left a sour taste in my mouth. I was like, you didn't need to say all that.
No, and I agree. I don't think she had to say all that. I do think I agree with you that do your thing, especially, I mean, this is your family. You guys handled however, you're keeping it within, hopefully you're keeping within your own space and you're actually quarantining, like you say. But my thing is to post this on Twitter for the public to see when you know that a lot of people can't do this, and then to say how humbling it is. And, and like you said, like the last part of it is, I realize how privileged my life is. And I feel like that's something that you may have a thought of that. Like I can understand that thought. I can understand, who am I to be so privileged to experience this when so many people are suffering or XYZ. But I feel like that's a thought that you have to yourself. And if you're going to post that online, you post that thought along with you doing acts to help the people that are suffering. You don't post it with, but I'm here anyway. So you know what I'm saying?
Because my thing is, I have several people on my social media who are all off in Puerto Rico or Mexico or something like that, doing the exact same things that she's doing. And these are, quote unquote, everyday people doing these things. So, but they're not making those comments. So it's like they're posting pictures saying they're having a great time. Baby, just do that.
Right.
And keep it pushing,
Right. Any reactions from Marcus and Brandon?
You want to go?
None. Okay.
You can go. It's fine.
Oh Lord. I never thought I would say these words, but I really don't have a problem necessarily with what Kim said or did. Because like both of you all said, y'all rich people, y'all gonna do what you want to do. And like I know regular people who are still going out doing whatever, what have you, because they're just like, basically I'm over it. But the end though, like what I feel like she tried to kind of get ahead of what people would say about her and kind of acknowledge the privilege or whatever that went into her being able to do this. But you just said like, oh yeah, I'm privileged. Okay, bye. Like that didn't really do nothing. Like you acknowledge the privilege, you didn't do nothing about it. Like it really would have been better if you had just been like, yeah, fuck y'all feelings, I'm out here on my private island because I'm rich and you're not. Like that really would have come across better than you half-heartedly trying to acknowledge the privilege and it sounded messed up. Now that's what messes me up. But as far as the whole her being on the island, oh, you're rich, do what you want, whatever.
Right. Brandon, any thoughts there? Anything you want to say?
I think pretty much what you all have said. I think because everybody else is going in places. I think if she was just like, girl, post your pictures and go, nobody would have cared. Like, because like we said, the everyday people, normal people are like going and traveling, doing things, but we're used to seeing rich people ignore this to an extent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, of course you're having fun. Or even if she's just been like, great way to celebrate my 40th birthday, period. Leave it there, But I think you're trying to be, nice and smart and appear to be a certain way, and you're not those things. So then it comes across bad,
Yeah.
You are nothing of the sort.
So while on her birthday trip, I was looking at comments. I was trying to see because before I go into that, let me get into these comments because y'all are funny. Let me just say that. Connected is calling them Kardashian COVIDiots.
Wow.
He's calling it a slap in the face to those who died, their families, and those who have worked as a first responder to fight the virus. Angie is saying, I would have taken a trip too. So I get it, but she didn't need to broadcast it. Yeah. And Mama Shay is also saying it's very on brand for the Kardashian clan.
Oh no.
So,
that rhymed.
It did. But while on the birthday trip, there was another piece to this that just that more recently came to light. Kanye West got her a hologram of her late father, Robert Kardashian, as a gift. She posted that online as well, saying it was the most thoughtful gift of a lifetime.
Wow.
The hologram of her father said how proud he was that she was taking up his legacy of being a lawyer and that she married, quote, the most genius man in the whole world, Kanye West. I just had to pause.
What your face is taking me out. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay, so Brandon, is this a creepy gift or is this sweet? Is this a sweet
It's definitely
gift?
not sweet. It's definitely not sweet. It's definitely not a gift for me. You've complimented yourself in your gift for me. My dad never met you. How do you know what he would say about you?
That's the part that really got me. That's the part that really got me. It was just like, okay, now, like, because my immediate reaction was like, okay, so I can see, if I'm thinking, like both of my parents are alive now, but I do have some loved ones who have passed. And if I were to get a hologram of them, saying something nice, maybe I could see it as maybe I could see it as sweet. Brandon, put your hand down.
I just got a question.
Go
So
ahead.
is she still in law school? Is she what is she doing?
Gosh, she was in law school.
I don't know. I guess she
I don't
is
say-
still
and
in
so-
law school.
And so Kimberly Kardashian is like really going to like practice law. That's what we're saying. Like in a courtroom.
Perhaps. Look, I mean, I'm not
we're
gonna
saying.
I'm not gonna like if she can do the work and actually get her license to to be a lawyer, then okay.
Yeah.
So that's whatever.
Okay.
I just I don't see her as being one of the best lawyers ever or whatever. But and maybe she'll use it in another way. Maybe she'll be just like a consultant or something. I don't know. I don't know what lawyers do. But
We love
But this
honesty
hologram-
and self-awareness. They don't have that. We love that. We love that.
this hologram, like I do think that it could be seen as sweet, but when we hear him saying you married the 5 times the most genius man in the whole world, Kanye West, it's just like, okay, Kanye, come on.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, Raven?
Well, first, as far as her being a lawyer, I'm for it, if she really wants to put good energy out into the universe and genuinely help people, then I say more power to her, but I'm also one of those people who has never come down hard on the family from the aspect as far as the work that they do. I think that they present more than just the video that she did with Ray J. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they could still be here if they didn't have some type of intellect when it came to creating a brand and a business. So I definitely don't hate on them as far as that. But working in mental health, because of course there are people who would still try to give this to mental health when it comes to Kanye West. It's not. There are certain things when it comes to Kanye that of course you can say may have to do with mental illness, but this is simply ego, And if anything, like Trump, it could play very much into narcissism, which is mental health.
Yeah.
But it should have nothing to do with you, even if you thought that it was, a joke. Not in this moment. It's my dad who's no longer with me. Right. I personally don't want my man giving me any hologram of either of my parents when, God forbid, they're called home. But if you do decide to do it, I love you. I'm proud of you. The end. Hologram fades. Like, why does this have anything to do with you? And it reaches certain points with this Libra, who is Kim Kardashian, where I think that she's looking at that Gemini Kanye, and there are things we may not know that are happening behind the scenes. She may be like, I'm doing all this real cute for y'all because, again, I know about branding. But this Libra is like, I'm going to handle that ass behind the scenes. Because I feel like, honestly, we may be under the impression that she and her family, her Scorpio mother, are not fed up with his antics. But I believe at this point, at the very least, they're playing him like a marionette. And they're like, we're going to get what we want to get out of him. He keeps us in the news, if anything. And then we're going to be done with him.
Okay.
This is a bit much.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marcus.
For the first time, I completely and totally agree with the astrological read, because that is exactly what I would do. Oh, that's real cute. Oh, thank you so much. And as soon as we get behind the scenes, what the fuck were you thinking? But like, I guess to speak on the topic in general, like I think of this kind of in the same way that I think about, how I've seen before people will do like Build-A-Bears or whatever. Like one of my cousins actually has like a Build-A-Bear thing that is like it has like the voice of their mother who passed away. And like you squeeze the bear, whatever, and it speaks. It's just like, I love you, or what have you. And I think those can be very sweet. But like the rest of y'all have said, when it goes into complimenting Kanye, come on, man. This is the most not about you thing that could ever have been created.
Yeah.
Like, what type of high level narcissism do you have to where you have to twist the words of her dead daddy to compliment you? Like, that's it, I
It was
can't
just
fathom
so
that.
weird. It was
It
just so
is.
weird.
It really, really is. And to me, it really kind of destroys any sweetness or any cuteness that the gift could have had.
Yeah.
Because that tells me that you only did this so that people could look at you. You had the hologram compliment you, and now this is putting it out there so people can say, "Oh, Kanye is so sweet."
Mhm.
It's no longer about her or her dad at that point.
Hmm. Yeah. I think, if he ever, if they wanted to say something about, oh, you have such a great family, then just say you have a great family. You have a great husband and daughters, and just leave it at that. It doesn't have to be no big thing. And that's what I think. Um, that's what I think kind of messed it up for me.
Yeah.
But Raven, you were talking about astrology, and I forgot to ask a question because one of our comments in the beginning was your sign.
Mhm.
Are you what was it, Scorpio or Sagittarius?
Both.
Both.
I am on the cusp of Sagittarius. I'm the first day of the cusp. So our
Okay.
cusp is called the cusp of revolution. I am a Scorpitarius, as I call myself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What do you think of our dynamic here? Because that has been some of our conversation, because we're all air signs. And I'm just curious what your read on us is.
So wait, what's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
So you're all three of the air signs?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 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 Okay. You're an Aquarius. Okay. That makes me want to have so many more conversations with you. So I'm in a relationship with a Libra. So
Okay. I think we lost him for a second. He'll come back.
I would say that I'm more well versed in Gemini and Libra than I am in Aquarius. But I always tell people that Aquarius are the wild cards of the zodiac. Aquarius are very much the wild cards. When you're dealing with an Aquarius and Leo, you have to be careful because according to which person, you don't know what you're going to get. The dynamic would have to be interesting. More often than not, I feel like it would be the Aquarius and the Libra probably looking at the Gemini strangely. But
really? I feel like it's the other way around.
Yeah, I was just going to say
that. Because the Gemini, like Aquarius doesn't care to be liked by anyone. And the Aquarius, usually other people's feelings and emotions are weird to Aquarius because Aquarius are the aliens. They genuinely live in their own world, in their own mind, But Libras, I would say, are because you always, out of the three, you have the one that is the least emotional and the most emotional, or outwardly. The Libra tends to be the more outwardly emotional, that they're the ones that are more empathetic to other people, that understand feelings and emotions and things of that nature. Geminis are the weird ones. And that says a lot because Aquarius are honestly the weirdest ones. But Geminis are the weird ones in the sense that with Aquarius are very blunt. So they're going to say exactly how they feel, exactly what's going on. There's no need to hide it. We don't believe in lies, Libras are the ones out of the three of you, at least, that are more like, okay, come here, I understand what you're going through. Let me hug you. Everything's going to be okay. Gemini's like, fuck you. And I don't need to talk about it. You don't need to know what's going on. Whatever's happening with me, I'll share when it's time for me to share. Otherwise, ain't none of your business. So when it comes to the three of you, I don't know how you exist outside of the show, but I would assume that has to play very interesting for all of your audience when they're watching.
Because I think we have an interesting dynamic, and I don't know if Marcus being the Libra is the one that balances the two of us.
Was any of that correct, what I said?
Yeah, I think so. I think pretty. Yeah. But yeah, we're not gonna go too deep into our outside conversation. But because we have to get to this last topic, we only have a few minutes left. But I want to talk about the best Halloween costumes of 2020. I am going to share a few costumes that I think nailed it, and you guys tell me if you agree. Podcast listeners, I will describe the costumes to you as best as I can. So let me share this. This is no sound, so we can just share pictures this time. So this will actually work, hopefully. Let's present. I had to do a slideshow.
Come on, slideshow.
We
I
love
feel like
it.
I'm at work or something, but I had to do this because I was like, okay, it needs to be like full screen.
We love media.
So Halloween 2020, we've got our first costume, the McCloskeys. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? Can you see it? No. Boo. Down. Okay. Okay. They're saying no. Okay, let's move to the next one. We've got Precious.
Come on. Yes.
Are we enjoying that? Are we enjoying Precious? I thought the Precious one was fun. Two thumbs up for Precious. Marcus is not
y'all going to
feeling
hell. Oh, y'all going to hell.
I'm not dressed up as Precious.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
All right.
Side by side. He did that.
Who else have we got? We've got, of course, Sierra and
Gonna
Russell Wilson.
Yes.
They did Busta Rhymes and Janet Jackson. So I thought this was cool. They did the video, and Russell Wilson did not know the words to the song at all.
Didn't.
So
He didn't.
it was hilarious. I was just like, all right, I wish this was just a picture, but okay. All right, so then we also have Lil Nas X as Nicki Minaj.
Wow.
Yes.
I was just like, that was such a transformation. And I don't know where the boobs came from. I don't know where the butt came from, but he did it.
Hey, when you got the coin, I want to be a celebrity and do Halloween the right way.
Right, BHW. Yes.
That's like a breastplate. I don't know about that. I guess that's just padding. Basically, he's in like full-blown drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
You think it's just Photoshop?
Yeah.
I don't think his waist is that skinny.
You think the whole, like, it's just Photoshop?
Oh,
like,
no.
Okay.
Okay. So our last costume is what I personally thought was the funniest, is the mayor of Chicago.
I cannot. I quit.
I thought that was so funny.
Oh no! It looked like Candyman.
Scared me a little bit. Oh no!
Oh my gosh. Okay, so based on that reaction, I guess I can safely say that was probably the funniest of all of them. Was there anybody that I missed?
It was so many celebs.
Yeah,
all the celebs did a good job, honestly.
They wore it out this year. The celebs really, really did. Me, and the only reason why I want to say it quickly is because I think BHW may say it too. So I want to say it first. But my favorite, and I want to make sure I'm saying her name right, Tabria Majors.
I wasn't gonna say her.
Good, and I know you well enough to know. I was like, BHW probably be like, but I wasn't gonna say that. But I feel like Tabria Majors won the decade. That's just me. I'm not necessarily sure who's gonna be able to outbeat her. But for any of the listeners who don't know, or watchers, any of the viewers, she did this really long video dedicated to Beyonce, where she went through a large amount of her catalog, doing the videos as well, choreography, location, lighting, everything. Oh, wow. And it's so funny because she did some pretty amazing things. So I don't know why this is what I was most impressed by, but I was most impressed by Single Ladies, which was the simplest thing. But I was like, she really hit this lighting.
Yeah. Can you share that link to me? Because I didn't see that. I only saw it. I don't know if this is the same person. This is the girl that did the Black is King video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so a lot of the clips that were going around were only of a little bit of it.
Yeah. Like, the whole thing is like 10, 11 minutes.
I'm about to say, yeah. So I don't know if you could still see it on my Instagram story, but the whole thing is on there. But I'll definitely send it to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll check that out.
So that was my favorite. I was gonna say Sierra too, because everybody keeps seeing what she did with Russell, but she did several different albums.
Okay, she did like four.
Right. She did Cardi, she did Megan,
and she did Nicki too. I think.
Yeah, she did
a
Nicki.
bunch. Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit confused. I was like, okay, how many outfits is she doing? And was this last year, or did the Busta Rhymes one last year, and is this one? I was like, how many outfits do you need to do?
This is bored in that house, okay? She has
Oh,
With all
time.
them kids
Oh
and that
my
badge, you got
gosh.
to do something.
Real quick, guys, do you have Brandon? Do you have a favorite? Was it that one? Was it the Beyonce one, or?
I don't know if I have a favorite because I haven't seen the full video. I know she definitely did a really good job though, from the clips I've seen. Can I just rattle off a few just people that I've
Sure.
seen? Is that fine? Cash Doll did shit. What is the movie? A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Her and like an actor, they recreated the film poster or whatever. Portia Williams from Housewives of Atlanta did Cardi B from the WAP video of the leopard cheetah, whatever that is, the
Okay.
long ponytail thing. Sky, is it Jackson?
Mhm.
I think did
From Disney Channel?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did.
Nice.
Shit, Foxy Brown.
Okay.
Ryan Destiny did Lauryn Hill. So yeah, it was.
She
Was
she
that?
did
I didn't
good
think that
Lauryn
was
Hill,
really
too.
him.
Wait,
Ryan
who?
Destiny.
Him?
Ryan
That's
That's a
Destiny.
woman. That's a woman.
That's a woman.
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody. I'm thinking of like
Just
Ryan.
leave it.
I'm thinking of Ryan Leslie. I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, no.
I was like, who?
All
that's
three
a
of our
woman.
faces, we were like,
No,
him.
that's a woman.
Sorry. Marcus, did you have someone in mind?
Yeah, I really like Cleo Thomas being like Powerline, and I think I think a big part of that is because I've like really kind of like fallen back in love with Tevin Campbell. So like, seeing him do that was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. So
Okay.
that was one I really, really enjoyed.
Okay. Cool. That's the Goofy movie.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to say to podcast listeners, I'm sorry I did not describe the costumes like I said I was going to.
I thought about
They can go Google.
Just
Go
come
look
on
on
to YouTube.
Instagram.
Put up another tab and just go look at it. It's fine.
Come on to YouTube and watch this. But I guess that I think that's everything that I mean, like, okay, so all right, so we have 1 minute left. Have you guys ever done like a crazy Halloween costume? Is there any Halloween costume that you yourself have done that is maybe your favorite look or something? No, Brandon.
I wish.
I normally don't celebrate. So I don't know.
Okay.
I stopped celebrating Halloween years ago, but when I was a teen, I would always be a vampire. So for me, I don't know if there's anyone who's into wrestling, but I was the Undertaker one year. And so that was major for me because I stepped out of being a vampire for once. I was the Undertaker,
cool.
so that was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. All of my costumes I feel like have been really basic. Like I've, been like Grim Reaper, like vampire, stuff like that. Like I don't think I've done them.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing that I know that it's anything that's memorable would be this soldier thing I had with like the bullets across my chest, like this kind of like Rambo or something. That was it. Nothing as crazy, but maybe we'll have to step it up next year.
I need to be in the gym. I gotta be naked to naked.
Listen.
Okay?
Come on, naked.
if we get out of quarantine, I am finna do the thing. Do you hear me?
Okay. I'll be moving and shaking and dropping and dipping and listen.
All right. So I want to thank you, Sensei Raven, for joining us on this show. We've had a great time having you on. Thank you so much. Can you tell the viewers where to find you online?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you all for inviting me. I really, really have enjoyed myself. If you'd like to walk with me on social media, that is Scorpiogi across all platforms. Scorpiogi. So just imagine you're doing Scorpio, but then at the end, OGI. As far as the podcast, that is the Healing Space Podcast. We are TLM.com, WEARETLM.com, and the Healing Space THS Podcast, Facebook and Instagram _THS Podcast on Twitter. And I think that's it. I have a bunch of other stuff, but don't worry about that for now.
Look, send it all to me. I'm going to put all of your links in the show notes for YouTube and for the podcast.
Thank you.
I want to say to our viewers, if you enjoyed our conversation and want to see more, it's absolutely necessary that you let us know, whether that's a bunch of hearts on the live stream, a like and subscribe on YouTube, comment, share, quick podcast review, show us some love. We want to keep coming back to you. So please interact with us and let us know how much you enjoy it. So with that done, we have to raise our glasses, everyone.
Real quick.
What's
Yes.
up?
Go vote if you have not. Please and thank you.
Please, God.
Please and thank
Absolutely.
you. Please and thank
Please,
you.
God. Yeah, it is that serious though. So until next time, be careful what you say because the boys will brunch. Take care, everyone.